From its rough beginnings in 1869 to the modern college football playoff, college football has evolved through pivotal moments. In this video, we will see the key milestones, legendary players, and major changes that shaped the game. Join us for a quick look into the rich history of college football. The birth of college football, 1869. The roots of college football traced back to 1869, when Rutgers and Princeton played what is recognized as the first college football game. However, this early version of football resembled soccer and rugby more than the game we know today. The rules were rudimentary, based on the London Football Association's guidelines, and the equipment was practically non-existent, with players wearing little more than basic uniforms. This early form of the game sparked interest across college campuses, and soon more schools adopted the sport, although the rules varied significantly from one place to another. The growing popularity of football laid the foundation for standardization, leading to the creation of formal rules that would shape the future of the sport, though it would take decades for the game to resemble the modern version. Formation of the National Collegiate Athletic Association, 1906. As football gained traction in the late 19th century, the sport was marred by violent play and frequent injuries. The lack of consistent rules contributed to these issues, and public outcry grew as deaths on the field became alarmingly common. President Theodore Roosevelt intervened in 1905, urging colleges to reform the game or face a potential ban, a move that reflected the urgency of the situation. In response, several colleges came together in 1906 to form the Intercollegiate Athletic Association of the United States, which would later become the National Collegiate Athletic Association in 1910. The National Collegiate Athletic Association established rules to make the game safer and more standardized, including the legalization of the forward pass and the reduction of physical brutality. These reforms were crucial in transforming college football into a safer and more structured sport, setting the stage for its widespread popularity. The rise of college football powerhouses, 1920s-1940s. With standardized rules in place, college football began to grow rapidly in popularity throughout the 1920s. Legendary coaches like Knute Rockne of Notre Dame and Amos Alonzo Stagg of the University of Chicago led their teams to national prominence, helping establish college football as a major force in American sports culture. This period saw the development of strategic innovations and a focus on coaching excellence. During this era, college football also began to take on a more regional identity, with teams in the South, Midwest, and West Coast developing fierce rivalries. Bowl games like the Rose Bowl, which was first played in 1902 but became an annual event in 1916, emerged as major events that pitted the best teams from different regions against each other. These developments laid the foundation for the national landscape of college football that we know today. Integration and the breaking of racial barriers, 1950s-1970s. The post-World War II era brought significant social changes, and college football was not immune to these shifts. One of the most impactful changes during this time was the gradual integration of African American players into previously segregated programs. Historically, black colleges and universities had long produced top talent, but it wasn't until the 1950s and 1960s that major programs, especially in the South, began to recruit black athletes, often facing significant resistance. This integration wasn't always smooth, with many black players facing immense discrimination and challenges both on and off the field. However, pioneers like Ernie Davis, who became the first African American to win the Heisman Trophy in 1961, and Jerry Levias, who broke the color barrier in the Southwest Conference, helped pave the way for future generations. The inclusion of black athletes transformed the game, bringing new talent and diversity to college football, although full integration in some regions took until the 1970s. The influence of television, 1950s present. Television revolutionized college football, bringing the game into the living rooms of millions of Americans. The first nationally televised college football game took place in 1952, and networks began broadcasting games on a regular basis in the 1950s. By the 1960s, college football had become a staple of Saturday afternoons, significantly broadening its audience. The impact of television on the sport cannot be overstated. It not only expanded the audience, but also increased revenue through advertising and sponsorships. Schools and conferences began to negotiate lucrative television contracts, which had a profound effect on the way the game was played, scheduled, and consumed. The rise of televised games also contributed to the nationalization of college football, as fans from coast to coast could follow teams and players from far-flung regions, creating a more unified fan base across the country. The birth of Bowl Championship Series, 1990s-2000s. As television money continued to flow into college football, conferences began to realign and expand. This period saw significant changes, including the expansion of major conferences and the creation of new ones, driven by the pursuit of larger television contracts. The creation of the Bowl Championship Series in 1998 was a response to growing demands for a more structured system to determine a national champion. Prior to the Bowl Championship Series, the national championship was often decided by polls, leading to controversy and split titles. The Bowl Championship Series introduced a ranking system that aimed to match the top two teams in the nation in a championship game, based on computer algorithms and human polls. While this system was far from perfect and often sparked debates, it was a significant step toward a more organized postseason, eventually paving the way for the college football playoff system we know today. The College Football Playoff Era, 2014-present. In 2014, the BCS was replaced by the College Football Playoff System, a four-team playoff that was designed to provide a clearer path to the national championship. The College Football Playoff introduced a selection committee that ranks teams based on their performance throughout the season, with the top four teams earning a spot in the semifinals. The College Football Playoff era has brought even more excitement to college football, with a greater emphasis on strength of schedule, conference championships, and head-to-head competition. While some still advocate for expanding the playoff field to include more teams, the College Football Playoff has generally been seen as an improvement over the Bowl Championship Series system, offering a more definitive championship conclusion. The debate over further expansion continues, with discussions about increasing the number of teams in the playoffs to ensure greater inclusivity and fairness. Player empowerment and the name, image, and likeness era, 2021-present. One of the most significant recent developments in college football has been the advent of name, image, and likeness rights for athletes. In 2021, the National Collegiate Athletic Association allowed players to profit from their personal brand, allowing them to sign endorsement deals, monetize social media, and earn money through various ventures. This marked a seismic shift in the relationship between college athletes and the institutions they represent, as it fundamentally changed the financial dynamics of college sports. The name, image, and likeness era has empowered players, giving them more control over their financial futures while still in school. However, it has also introduced new challenges and complexities as schools navigate the evolving landscape of recruiting and player compensation. The impact of technology and analytics on the game. Technology and data analytics have become integral to modern college football, from advanced scouting reports from technology, with social media, streaming services, and virtual reality offering new ways to engage with the sport. The rise of sports betting has added another layer of interest as fans analyze data to make informed wagers. That wraps up our look at the incredible history of college football. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content on the sport's greatest moments. Let us know in the comments which part of college football's history stands out to you.